What does the month of March hold for us, our future, and the future of our planet? Major shifts and changes are coming in that are going to make both the month of March and April complete doozies. Starting with we slowly are stepping in to both eclipse season and the next dreaded Mercury Retrograde and energy shift cycle as well. So therefore, what does the future hold in the near future for the month of March? Major changes that we're going to witness with global governments as we continue to see leaders falling one at a time, dropping out of power, and even big members of the elite, like we just saw Rothschild, beginning to drop as well, to a point of it seeming a little surreal, as if they're all coming in and being taken out one after another. We're going to see major truth drops that are going to shock the United States, and other truth drops that are going to shock the entire globe. A potential attack at the southern U.S. border, and so much more. Today, we're going to take a look at both the numerology and the astrology so that you can make the best out of the month of March, along with very specific predictions that I have received from my spirit guides. This is my March 2024 forecast and predictions. Welcome to March 2024, and a big happy birthday goes out to all our March Pisces and our late March Aries. And if you have a birthday coming up in the near future, you're going to want to check out my video, Most Powerful Day of the Year, so that you can take advantage of your birthday, which is the most powerful day of the year. Be sure to check it out. Make sure a link pops up right above. The month of March kicks us off in a combination of both eclipse season, equinox season, and also the Mercury Retrograde cycle in season. Starting off with the pre-shadow of the Mercury Retrograde, the latter part of the month of March. And on April 1st, we step in to the direct Mercury Retrograde and that big old energy shift that's going to come flowing in, changing everything. So this season is going to offer us so much more in the way of opportunity. This season, this month that we're in, March, so much opportunity in bringing us more balance into our lives. And as the trees begin to bloom and the flowers and the bees begin to awaken here in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, they're going to prepare for the exact opposite, preparing for winter and hibernation. So this is a great time, my friends, of great balance and opportunity to open up new doorways in our lives, while also raising our vibrations to a new level of ascension, and an amazing new level that no matter what side of the planet you may reside on, you have this opportunity in the month of March. Beginning just a few days prior to the first of the eclipses, so being that the lunar eclipse, which occurs on March 24th or 25th, depending on where you live on the planet, that's when we're going to start to feel these energies begin to intensify. So approximately actually beginning on the equinox, which is the 19th or 20th of March, depending again where you live. This is only going to be a small wave, Spirit shows me, in comparison to April's coming tsunami wave. That's going to basically March as the precursor of what we're going to witness in the month of April. It's going to be wild. In March, we are graced by both the gentle yet ever so powerful number 2 in numerology, making March a 2 universal month, which the number 2 is a symbol of harmony, balance, and cooperation. So this month's going to invite us to embrace these qualities in our lives, fostering in deep connections with other people and other folks, finding great equilibrium between the both and within ourselves, which is really important. As we approach the equinox on March 19th and 20th, a moment of perfect balance, of course, between both night and day, this is a reminder to all of us about the beauty of nature's cycles and how gorgeous the cycles of nature are and how they perfectly work in balance with our lives as well. Be sure to get outside, connect with nature, go sit in the forest, go sit down by the water, whatever you can do. It's important because this is a time of renewal, a time of great transformation, and it's a moment, an opportunity for us to realign our energies and our intentions with the rhythm of the cosmos. In this 2 universal month, let us embrace both the opportunity of partnership and collaboration that come flowing into our lives. Let us seek out harmony in our relationships and balance out our actions, knowing that by working together, the unity of the two, it's really important. That's why we have so much balance coming in the month of March. And the opportunity to balance is because the two is the unity. It is the couple, right? The balance between feminine and masculine. So this can help us bring balance in our relationships and balance in all of our actions, knowing that by working together with others and directly with another person or our partners or spouses can really help us to live in a much more peaceful world and make things work out so much better for you and all those that surround you. So as we embark on the wonderful energies of the 2 vibration in the month of March, let us also remember that we are a big part of something much larger. We are all interconnected as one, as the whole. We are all weaved together with the divine. So let us honor that and the magic of the equinox and the wisdom of the number 2, trusting in the universe and trusting that the universe is going to guide you on your journey towards growth, healing, and of course, fulfillment, and abundance, joy, and happiness. If you allow it to flow into your life, March is the perfect time to do so. Now we move on to how you and I both can benefit from the 2 universal energy and vibration in the month of March, starting with knowing and utilizing both the do's and the don'ts of the 2 vibration. In doing so, this can help us to take the greatest advantage of the month of March and that 2 vibration. Starting with the do's, first thing we need to do is cooperate and collaborate. Cooperate, collaborate, and listen. Spiritman's back with a brand new edition. Sometimes I just can't help myself. But on a serious note, cooperating and collaborating with others, this is a great opportunity for us to embrace, to work harmoniously with others in our work and in our endeavors. So take advantage of that and cooperate and collaborate and listen to, because sometimes we need to make sure we're listening, because that can bring us better balance in our lives and in our relationship. And the 2 vibrations, all about that duality. Another important do to the 2 vibration is, of course, to be diplomatic. We need to do that all the time, but especially we're going to witness that in the 2 vibration. So seek peaceful resolutions and maintain a balanced perspective in conflicts and disagreements. Hopefully we'll see that on the world stage as conflicts begin to go into discussions and bring some peace on our earth for some time, hopefully permanently. Another important aspect to the 2 vibration is it gives us an opportunity to develop relationships. The duality of the 2 once again. So start by focusing on your current relationships and nurturing the relationships. Don't forget to nurture yourself as well. And this also allows us to deepen our connections with others. So take this opportunity to deepen your connection with others and to get out and meet new people and bring more goodness into your life. Something we should always remember to do, no matter what vibration we happen to be in, is trust your intuition, friends. Listen to that inner voice. As I say, the voices in your head are not always you. Be aware of those voices and define whether they're coming from yourself, someone around you that you're picking up their thoughts, or whether it's coming from your guardian angels and guides, which likely could be the case, especially when you're seeking answers. So trust that intuition. Rely on it when it comes to making big decisions in the month of March, and you won't go wrong if you go with your first instinct. The 2 vibration also tells us that we need to practice being a little more patient, understanding that the process can be a little slower than we would want, hope, or expect it to be. So trust that things are going to unfold in their own time. Be patient and just know in your heart and soul that it's already happening in the future. That is the rule to the law of attraction. Plugging into the future and the emotions of what it's like to already be there in the future. Use that, practice that patience, and know the universe is working really hard to weave things together in a perfect web so that they can help you and the universe can help you to achieve your goals and dreams. Of course, the 2 vibration is all about duality, which also is a representation of the scale. meaning that we need to seek out balance in the month of March and when we're in a 2 vibration. So strive for a harmonious balance between both your work, career, business life and your personal life, as well as between giving and receiving both. Remember, it's great to give, and my mother always used to say, it's better to give than it is to receive. But Mama should have said, it's better to give than to receive, but it's nice to receive sometimes too. What happens is we cut off the receiver. When we keep giving and letting people bleach us dry like we're a blood bank and we're surrounded by vampires. You know that feeling. So this is a month where we can bring in the balance of 2 so that we're both seeing the flow of the 8 vibration of 2024 flowing back to us better than it was when we put into it. So use that. Again, seek balance between all the things that are going on in your life and take some time to breathe and, of course, to nurture yourself. Now we move on to some very important tips when it comes to the do nots or the don'ts of the 2 vibration. First thing you don't want to do, or you do want to do, is avoid conflicts completely. Refrain completely from engaging in any kind of drama, any kind of arguments, or any kind of confrontations. Try to find peaceful resolutions instead. It'll make the month of March flow so much better. Another important thing that we should do not do in the 2 vibration, the don'ts, is, and I love you all, especially if you vibe with the tribe, you are an empath like myself, very sensitive to other people's energy and emotions. But in this 2 vibration in the month of March, I tell you, don't be overly sensitive. While, yeah, it's very important to be empathic, and that guides us in our lives, because technically we're all empaths and we're all psychic and intuitive. Being empathic's one thing, but taking things too personal or overly sensitive, being oversensitive about it or criticizing about it is not going to help you in the 2 vibration. So unplug from that. Reach out, unplug from that energy and vibe, and don't be so sensitive and take everything. Because people say things, I've learned, that they just don't realize what they're saying. And they don't realize how it brings up negative emotions in other people. So we just got to unplug and walk away. Do that in the month of March, and you'll be good to go. 2 other important don'ts of the 2 vibration is first, avoid being indecisive and avoid overthinking. You don't want to overthink and you don't want to be indecisive when you're in the 2 vibration. While of course it's always good to consider our different options and different perspectives in life, but try not to be so indecisive or overly hesitant when making choices, because in doing so, you may lose out on opportunity. Avoid overthinking. Trust your instincts. Like I said, your intuition, it's a key factor always in our lives, but especially in the 2 vibration. And avoid overanalyzing stuff. Avoid overanalyzing everything, especially overanalyzing situations when it comes to relationships. Speaking of relationships, you definitely do not want to rush into a relationship when we're in a 2 vibration. I say you shouldn't rush into a relationship in any vibration, but the 2 vibration is a reminder of that. Don't rush into relationships. Allow relationships to develop naturally and avoid rushing into commitments and rushing into things that you may regret much later. And the last of the don'ts that's really important always, and I emphasize and tell you this all the time, but especially in the 2 vibration, don't neglect self-care, friends. Don't neglect yourself. Stop putting everybody else first, friends. You got to remember to take care of your own needs and your own well-being, because no one else is going to. You got to do it first. And if someone claims around you that you're being selfish or self-indulged, people accuse us of doing things or being what they're actually being, or doing what they're actually doing. So again, don't take it so personal. Nurture yourself. Focus on nurturing your relationships and nurturing everything around you, but again, starting with yourself first. You'll be glad you did, and it'll make your spring or your fall season, depending on where you are in the world, have much more balance in your life and in your future. In the month of March, the cosmos orchestrating a symphony of celestial events that is inviting us all to embrace change. Remember, change. Without change, we'd be stuck in the same mud forever. We need change. Change, renewal, and self-discovery. This is the astrology aspects that you can benefit from in the month of March. On March 9th, we have Mercury changing over into the sign of Aries. This is going to ignite our minds with innovative ideas and this thirst that we need to quench when it comes to new adventures. March already, with the equinoxes, is a great time to set out on new adventures and for creative innovations. But with this alignment with Mercury and Aries, it's going to ignite it on a whole nother level. This is an amazing level. So Spirit tells me to reminds all of us to write things down. Write down your ideas. Write down your new adventures. When you write it down, and especially when universe and spirit and your guides give you information, sometimes it comes in little puzzle pieces. Might not make sense at first, but when you write it down and keep writing it down, it'll all add up into a big puzzle afterwards. So remember that with this transit, because this transit's also going to encourage us to communicate more boldly and more assertively. So it's going to be an interesting alignment on March 9th. On March 10th, we have the magic of the new moon entering into the sign of Pisces. That's going to cast a dreamy glow over our intentions, empowering our intentions, making them much more powerful. This new moon coming up on March 10th is inspiring us to dive deep into our subconscious and our heartfelt goals. Remember, when we put our goals right in the center of our heart, helps them to come to life. It's like putting the seed in the most fertile soil of all. Your heart and your heart chakra is that fertile soil. So plant your intentions in your heart on the new moon, because this is a very potent time. The March 10th the March 10th new moon is also a time for spiritual exploration. So meditate. You should do that all the time, but if there was one day this month that you should meditate, one of those days would definitely be March 10th. Because this can help you receive information. The whole Pisces is all about an energy that cloaks us in imagination and intuition. Pisces is very, very intuitive. So meditating and tapping into that energy and planting your goals and intentions in the center of your heart will ensure that you make the best out of the new moon in Pisces on March 10th. Another awesome thing that I'll be doing on the new moon March 10th is planting my seeds for my gardens and doing so indoors. Some of you may do so indoors or in your greenhouse, but it's a perfect time to plant your seeds in your garden, along with, again, planting your intentions, your seeds of intention in the center of your heart on March 10th. Directly following the new moon on March 11th, Venus is going to glide into Pisces as well. So matters of the heart are going to take center stage come March 11th. That's going to urge us to approach our relationships with compassion and with empathy. Could also, for some people, relationships, it could cause a bit of drama. But we don't want that. The new moon's all about repairing things, and it's the day after the new moon. New moon on the 10th, the 11th, Venus gliding into the sign of Pisces. This transit also gives us deeper connections with each other and with ourselves. And it's all about emotional healing. So I would expect a lot of emotions to come up right around that time period. And remember, these emotions that come up are all reminders, and they're all there to transform us into the power of love. It's all about love, baby, on March 11th. On March 18th, we step into the dreaded cycle of the Mercury Retrograde. I don't dread it. Many people do dread it. But remember, what you put out is what you get. Once you know the power of the retrograde and how it can benefit you, it's not so bad. So the powerful Mercury retrograde pre-shadow, we're just stepping into the little shadows of it on the 18th of March in the sign of Leo. So if you have Leo as your sun, moon, or ascendant, of course it's going to have a heavier effect on you, especially if that includes Virgo or Gemini. Remember, Mercury is ruled by Virgo and Gemini. So every Mercury retrograde has a heavy effect on both those signs if you happen to have that as your sun, moon, or ascendant. Now, could you have all of them? That would be even more interesting. And it don't have to be dreaded. Again, once you know the aspects of the retrograde, this retrograde coming up March 18th is a signal. It's a time for us to reflect on things, to reassess things, to look back and review our past actions, review our past decisions, and ensuring at the same time that we are on the right path. And before Mercury retrograde goes into full effect on April 1st. On March 19th, first I say happy birthday to my niece in heaven, Rhiannon, on the 19th of March. But that also is going to mark off the day when the sun enters into Aries. And it's also the Vernal Equinox, one of my favorite seasons. It is my favorite season of all seasons, actually, is the spring. But again, in the southern hemisphere, they will be celebrating the fall Vernal Equinox. So no matter where you're at, it's all about balance come the 19th of March. All about new beginnings. And in many ancient cultures, all our ancestors celebrated that date. And the equinox as the new astrological calendar, the new astrological year. So technically, the equinox is New Year's Day. So it's a very, very powerful time for new beginnings and for fresh starts. And as long as we, harness the fiery energy of Aries, it can help us to pursue our passions and renew things in our lives at the same time. I'm excited about the equinox season. Again, it's my favorite time of the year. Everything comes to life. On the powerful Master Day 22 in numerology, for the number 11 and 22 are master numbers, March 22nd master date is when Mars is going to join into the Pisces party, infusing us with compassion and the desire to serve others. So that'll be interesting to witness how that plays out in the world. When that energy comes together, we will see more humanitarian efforts taking place to help others. This transit's also there to encourage us and give us strength, courage, and a positive attitude to help us again foster in new things, new doorways open up for us, and it also gives us more of a sense of unity and empathy. So it's a good time come March 22nd. The month of March culminates in a very powerful full moon lunar eclipse on March 25th. I'm looking forward to that as well. That March 25th eclipse is highlighting the importance of balance and equilibrium in our relationships once again. Seems like March has a lot of reminders of that. The equilibrium, the balance of the two vibration. Seems like all throughout astrology and numerology in the month of March, it's all that. Bringing in balance, equilibrium, especially equilibrium in relationships. So on a world stage, hopefully we'll see balance between nations that are in conflict come into play with these energies coming in with this eclipse. We have double eclipses, don't forget. We have one right after that on April 8th, which is going to be the doozy. Well, not the doozy this year, but the doozy of these two. The real doozy this year is going to be in the fall months. So remember to subscribe down below so that you're aware of what's happening and you don't miss any future predictions. The eclipse also not only just encourages us to find equilibrium in our relationships, but it also reminds us to let go of anything that no longer serves us. So that way it will pave the way for our own personal growth and transformation. That's what it's all about. But we just got to step aboard the transformation train. Are you ready to step aboard the transformation train? I already stepped aboard. Join me. Because March is going to be an amazing time of transformation for us personally and universally on our planet. Overall, March is a dynamic energy and profound transformation, offering all of us the opportunity to realign with our true selves and to embrace the changes that lie ahead. Before I move on to my specific predictions for March 2024, I first want to say, hey y'all, welcome to my channel, back to my channel. My name's Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT. I welcome you with infinite love and gratitude. If you're new here, you want accurate predictions, prophecy, truth, and good content, great content, then you will definitely want to vibe with the tribe and smash that there subscribe. Thank you for showing your love. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to put all this together for everybody. And I appreciate you showing your love by hitting that thumbs up love button down below. I want to thank all of my supporters, my members below, members of the Awaken Your Spirit community, and all those who make this free content possible for everybody else. I couldn't do it without you. And thank you with infinite love and gratitude. Down below in the description, you'll find all the links to my social media platforms, including the link to my newsletter, which is free. You'll never miss content. You'll get all this information, inspirational information, in my free newsletter down below. Open it up, sign up to that baby. Also down below, you'll find a link if you're interested in shifting over into gold, because I talked about this on my last Tuesday's show. Gold, it's the way to go. Because if everything collapses in the stock market And that's where all your IRAs are wrapped up. That means you're not going to have any IRA left. Don't want that risk. If you don't want that risk, there's free information down below. Let us move on to my specific predictions for March 2024. The first 2 weeks of March are going to be quite nice, as we can have an opportunity to bathe in that energy, which will open us up to new levels of abundance, joy, and happiness, especially when we reach that equinox towards the end of the month. At the same time, when we do reach that equinox, the energies on our planet are going to intensify quite a bit. Those energies in turn are also going to have the sun sending us in new light codes. New light codes and a flare that once again is going to take out communications in places like Australia, which may be partly from the hit from the sun, but other reasons behind that as well, which I'll get into in a moment. Spirit says to expect power outages in many parts. Some from storms, some from a large solar flare, and another from a cyber attack, of course. Spirit tells us to watch the state of Texas very closely, because the entire world will soon be tuning in to what's happening in the state of Texas. Even though many people have been tuned in lately because of the wildfires, but Spirit says this is different. Whatever's coming is quite different. And if you remember years ago, Spirit told us that Texas was a targeted state. But targeted by who exactly? Well, targeted by these evil, dark people who have dark agendas that are for their benefit and not, of course, for the people's benefit. And I'm not just talking about the cartel talk here either. Spirit says it's much bigger and much deeper than just them. Although they are very much a big part of it and a big part of what's happening. So, for example, they tell us that the fires were from the heat in Texas. But I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that somebody is very much responsible for those fires. Now, just like Lahaina and just like what's happening in Chile as well. Same thing. And Spirit said that in past predictions too, that we would see other events like Lahaina caused by things that come from the sky, if you know what I mean. Which I said before that Lahaina event occurred, where I saw a laser coming from the sky igniting a small town or city. It happened like a month after I said it in Lahaina. But Spirit says this is just kind of similar what's happening in Texas right now. And not only that, Spirit says that was done specifically, which makes sense. I mean, common sense will tell you this, that it was there and done to take our attention away from the borders, of course. And it's an agenda here that anyone, again, with common sense and clear eyes can see that that's the case. But again, Spirit says to watch Texas very closely. On April 8th, if you may know this, if you watch me long enough, you know this already, but on April 8th, we have that other eclipse that's crossing over northern Texas, which is going to complete an X pattern because last year the other eclipse went one way. This one's going the other way, leaving a complete X right over northern Texas. Remember, X marks the spot, right? X marks the spot, so watch that spot very closely. Even though we're watching the borders, I'd still also watch northern Texas as well. Right where that X is on the map, you can look that up for yourself online. So they're telling us, one thing, but I do also recall Spirit telling us that there would be cartel conflicts. The W and the A, and you can finish the last letter at the border. And I was told that like last year, that there'd be big conflicts at the borders and the southern borders of the United States, that is, and other borders in other countries as well. So are these fires literally an act of conflict? Right? Think about that. If Spirit said that was happening and that they were targeted, kind of all fits together. But regardless, Spirit again tells us that soon a flag is going to fly ever so falsely in Texas, right at the southern border. So remember, whatever does happen, don't believe what mass media is telling you, because it's likely not the case at all. Third up, I see and feel huge changes coming out of big pharma and the medical community both, which we're going to begin to see in this month of March. First, on a positive note, we're going to see major advances in the cure of diseases, or at least these cures finally actually reaching the masses. They've probably been there all along, but they haven't reached us yet. A new breakthrough, at least again, they're going to tell us it's new, a new breakthrough that is going to help in the cures of cancer and cancer treatments. Cancer treatments that will lead to cures is actually what Spirit said. Major breakthroughs in cancer and cancer treatments that will finally lead to cures. Advances in both prostate and breast cancers, along with a new discovery and potential cause of childhood cancers. That's a big one. The cause, both the cause, and I had this feeling that whatever this is, when this comes about, not necessarily all happening in the month of March, but we'll start to see it happening. And it's going to be a couple-year process, Spirit shows me, of shifting the whole medical community completely. That's what needs to happen before we reach the new earth. But again, a major discovery and potential cause for childhood cancers, which is sure to ignite some controversy. Something certainly to look forward to. Spirit also tells me and shows me that there's a huge tsunami wave that's going to hit big pharma companies. Remember, water washes away the crude, right? It washes away all the gunk and brings things to the surface and washes things to the shore. So think of things metaphorically, because some of the things Spirit shows me in visions, we have to interpret. No, it's not literally an actual tsunami hitting a big pharma building. It's metaphoric. And again, water washes things away, brings things to the surface, and washes things to the shore. So that's how I'm going to take it. One thing coming from the big pharma shorelines is going to be a whole lot of karma, Spirit said. Truth that's going to leak out, which we already seen happening, but no, Spirit says truth leaking out. Even truth how one company is responsible for shutting people down and how some of those people who spoke out disappeared. So again, big pharma shutting people down, basically shutting them up, people that speak up within the company or about the company, shutting them up completely one way or another, paying them off, or we're going to notice some of these people disappearing when they speak up, which wouldn't be a surprise because some of those big pharma companies are as big as big pharma, big cartel. It's literally the legalized cartel, pretty much. So they're going to be responsible for those that are responsible for shutting people down and those disappearing. We're going to find out about this over the next few years. I would expect some of this again to start turning up this month in March. In turn, I would expect over the next few years that we will also finally witness justice being hammered down upon big pharma. Some are going to be forced to pay out so much money that they go belly up. They always get out of paying out too by claiming their bankruptcies and hiding their money elsewhere. They're not going to be able to do that much longer, Spirit says. Not much longer at all. Moving on. Spirit says to keep your eyes peeled, for there is a very amazing pharmaceutical companies that are going to spring up in the near future. New companies, new pharmaceutical and research companies that are going to spring up like a flower in the spring season. At least one of these small, unrecognized company already currently exists, while others will slowly come into existence in the near future due to research and breakthroughs that are on a more natural healing level and vibration. Yeah, hallelujah. That's what we need, friends. That's definitely what we need. Again, natural healing levels and vibrations with these new 3 pharmaceutical companies Spirit shows me evolving. One of these companies is going to use special plants, not yet utilized in medicine, that come from places such as Brazil and the Peruvian Amazon jungles. Now, a lot of people don't know that majority of pharmaceuticals started with a plant, but then they, messed with it all. But they all started with a plant. This company, Spirit shows me, feels much different. It feels way different. And they're focused, again, their vibration, I don't know what their focus is, but their vibration of the company is a very healing vibration, natural healing vibration. And yeah, that's good. That's good. So I look forward to that one coming into the future. I see some type of serious accident occurring around some type of a boat race. This was interesting. This was actually the first thing that came to me when I sat down to prepare all this for y'all. So I see a serious accident occurring around some type of a boat race, which I believe may be a sailboat race. So a sailboat race where I saw in my visions rescue boats, and I felt a sense of panic, which would make me think somebody's drowning, right? So I'm not sure where this incident is or where it takes place. I just know that it does. And this is like all my predictions. It may occur in May, not necessarily, but definitely with this particular prediction, if it's not, March. If it's not March, it'll be definitely within the next couple of months. As we are going into boating season, right? So I'm sure someone will let us know in the comments what big boat race is important, that this would be a big thing. Because I saw visions, too, of this being broadcast, an event being broadcast on some network. Therefore, there's angles, different video footage from different angles of this incident happening around the boat race. I have a vision of a massive vehicle pileup accident. But this was interesting. And I mean, we see traffic pileups all the time. I thought when Spirit showed me that, I'm like, that's kind of general. But there's something different about this. This has to be in. And usually, going back to when I started doing predictions over 15 years ago, I see things often in newspaper headlines. We don't read newspapers anymore. So, I see things a little different. And they've evolved more to visions of things happening. So when I'm seeing things, it means it's a big event. A big story. So this vision of this massive pile-up accident and traffic backed up into infinity. In my vision, I saw smoke, I saw flames, I saw and heard helicopters flying around, and I saw rescue vehicles having a really hard time accessing this incident and accident because of the pile-up of traffic in the traffic jam. It kind of reminded me very strongly of what the traffic jams look like on that huge highway running into Los Angeles, California. So that's what came to my mind. I've been on that highway. I forget what road it is, but y'all know the one that's always backed up all the way to infinity. So it might be on that road. At the same time, being this is such a big event, and this isn't in my notes, but this is my feeling that this could be very much related to some kind of terror type of event. And the explosion, because I feel like something goes boom. I didn't see it, but I felt like this vibration. It felt like something goes boom. So I don't know what it is or where it is, but whatever it is, it's a big deal, whatever it happens to be. Hopefully it don't happen. I'd rather see things like that not happen than actually come into fruition. Moving on to number 8, I see some type of huge raid. Several huge raids, actually. Not that raids are any different. I'm sure there's huge raids every day. But as I said, when Spirit shows me things, this would have to be really big and huge. So what I saw was several raids, and one raid is on a political figure. So this reminded me of when the feds raided Trump's Mar-a-Lago. That's what it reminded me of. Not that it has anything to do with the United States. It could. But that's what it reminded me of. The feds raiding Trump's Mar-a-Lago. So I see a raid like that on a politician. And again, this doesn't mean just all U.S. politicians. It could be, but I'm also pulled to the United Kingdom and Australia, both. Australia, mate, and they're going to have some political uproar. The whole world is, but they are as well. So this could be multiple events happening in multiple places, was my feeling. Karma being served on silver and golden platters. So also, several raids. Again, I see several raids against politicians and former politicians. And this could align with my past prediction going back a while ago and in my channel predictions where Spirit said that we would see shocking arrests taking place. So let's hope that this all starts to ignite. I would expect this to ignite in March. So I see several large cyber attacks coming globally. One in March, of course. And as the year progresses, these cyber attacks are going to become more aggressive attacks. Iran is going to be dealing with a cyber attack on their infrastructure that's going to shut things down and cause a bit of chaos, as well as Australia is going to have a hack on their government systems that shuts down part of their government or all of their government, taking them offline completely. Both Las Vegas, which just had that big cyber attack, well, they're going to have another one, and it might actually be bigger the next round. Not only Vegas, the airlines, again, being hacked in different countries, all the airlines in general. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, strong feeling that when Vegas is hacked again, that at the same time, for example, the casinos are hacked and the airport's hacked. So people aren't coming or going. So that'd be interesting. That'd be very, very interesting. I also see a hack attack affecting communications, big time communications. United States, again, the airlines but not just the United States, and most of the hack attacks that affect communication. So communications like what just happened, Verizon, AT&T, like those kind of communications. But again, I don't know what they're called in your country. I know what they're called in the United States. This is going to be, again, a global thing that affects companies. But here's the kicker. This is the new one that I saw a hack, not just for cell companies, but even television broadcast companies being hacked. And in one country, and this wasn't the United States, this felt like a different country to me. It felt like it was a different language too. So in one country, I saw a hack into their broadcasting system, and put up their own video, and that video felt like a threat. Like they took down whatever people were watching and put up something, hacked it and put up their own thing. And it felt like a threat. And I believe that particular part of the prediction has to do with Israel and Egypt as well, between the two. And speaking of Egypt, moving on to 10. Speaking of Egypt, Spirit shows me a vision of a dark black cloud suddenly appearing over Egypt. This was weird. Weird vision, because it started out as my vision as a black dot. It's a little black dot over top of Egypt. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and just encompassed the whole entire country of Egypt. So I would interpret this a couple ways. I'd first interpret this that, of course, as something big is going to hit Egypt, like a storm out of the blue kind of thing. That could be weather related, but I don't think it was all, I don't at all believe it's all weather related. Because this felt to me very evil to me. As if like going back to ancient Egypt. It felt like going back to ancient Egypt and seeing God unleash the plagues on Egypt, as we read in the Bible. That's what it felt like to me. It was weird. So I could take this again another way. Could it actually be an actual plague? Or is it more metaphoric meaning a big storm is coming to Egypt, perhaps from the outside in, that brings a plague to the country and takes out their current leader? Because again, if we compare it to things that popped up in my head, like the ancient Egyptian pharaohs, that's what the plagues did. They were there to take out the leader or the pharaoh's kids or whatever. So that's what I would take this as, a combination of events happening in Egypt. Maybe even a literal plague. But the plague to me felt more like an evil plague coming in from the outside. So tell me what you think this is in the comments down below. I always like to hear your feedback and what you may think that some of the visions that Spirit show me. Some visions Spirit show me are pretty easy to explain and we know what's happening. But things like this, we have to interpret. So I want to know, is a true plague going to hit Egypt? Let me know down below in the comments. Moving on to another, either hack or some type of information drop is going to come in the near future that reveals truth and secrets of the United States, Canada, and even Israeli military. Some of these truth leaks will also include top secret files, pictures, and video clips that will likely put somebody behind bars or running for their lives, like Snowden and Julian. Kind of like that. This is also involving secret weapons, UFOs, and alleged alien life. So this is a big one. This is a good one. I hope it comes in March. It felt like it's starting in March. So April's bigger though. March is just the beginning. Like I said, the precursor to what we're going to experience in April. So it's going to be really interesting. Now you can again utilize that in your life by planting your seeds and your intentions in March, so that April's awesome for you. It's always going to be awesome one way or another, but we can make it more awesome. So going back, this release of information involving secret weapons, UFOs, and alleged alien life, not sure if this is related or not, but Spirit also shows me a discovery or release of some type of information revealing something very large hidden beneath the sea. And that's my feeling, hidden beneath the sea. Not discovered. It feels like, lots of people know that it's there, whatever it is. And I'm thinking perhaps this is actually an underwater military base. So there will be attempts to cover this up, according to Spirit, claiming that it's fake footage or it's AI. And of course, people will believe that because people have a hard time believing. Whereas you can show some people a video that is fake and they will believe it's real. So it'll be interesting. But when this does come and we find out what's hidden beneath the sea, we will know. It's definitely not fake. It's real as can be. I see trouble around Panama Canal. Spirit showed me in this vision, it was really interesting. I saw this small ship. Well, I mean, my vision's from a distance, and I'm like up here looking down towards, and I'm kind of above the water, actually, looking towards the coast of the Panama Canal in this vision. And I saw this small ship, and on the ship, it said trouble written right on the side of this ship. I see trouble written on the side of this ship, and I see this ship slowly approaching, but not slowly, quickly. This ship was moving fast. Trouble moving in quickly on the coast where the Panama Canal is. And right now, in my vision, it wasn't very far off from the coast. So I would expect it to hit the coasts, metaphorically, of course, I believe, in the very near future. Now, I could interpret this a few ways as well, starting with trouble, of course, because it was written on the side of the boat. Trouble for the Panama Canal is coming, and it may be coming in from the waters. So some kind of trouble. It could even be a big storm that hits the canal and shuts it down. I mean, that's an example. I don't think that's what it is. But again, analyzing this, trouble for the Panama Canal, Spirit says, to the point that it'll be shut down for a temporary period of time. And again, I can also interpret this that something's coming across the waters that's going to affect or damage, or coming out of the waters. That's my interpretation. So another interpretation I thought could be actually pirate type of attack. Like some kind of pirate type of attack coming in from the sea, attacking along the Panama Canal. That would actually make the most sense to me in my interpretations. So again, I see a trouble for the Panama Canal. And in my vision, I see a ship with the word trouble written on it. And again, that's metaphoric, quickly approaching the coast where the Panama Canal is, meaning that trouble is heading towards the coast of Panama Canal. In turn, I believe that there could be some type of an attack coming from the waters on the Panama Canal. Some type of pirates or something like that. Overall, the concern here is that there's going to be a temporary closure of the Panama Canal, which would add to the inflation of goods that are coming through that canal, unfortunately. Moving on. We also have already continued to see many leaders, of course, globally falling out of power or falling off the planet completely. So just as Spirit said that was going to occur, right? Spirit told us that. Along with something else that Spirit told us that we would see the high elite, the Illuminati members or whoever, the higher up elite, begin to drop like flies. For example, we saw Henry Kissinger, and then we just recently saw Jacob Rothschild. So definitely high up elite. So it's happening. Spirit told us it was going to. But Spirit also said to expect to see more of this following up in place from big bankers all the way to royal families. And not just the royal Windsors, but the royals' families all throughout the globe, Spirit said. This is even going to have an effect on the royals in Iran, Saudi Arabia, parts of Africa. Like Spirit told us back in January, it's going to seem almost surreal as these power heads begin to drop. And Spirit says it's time for change and it's time to get out the top evildoers. They must fall, according to Spirit. I would agree. How about you? Another thing that we are going to begin to witness the fall of, beginning in late March, is the fall of more small banks. Small bank stocks are going to crash. They already are, but they are going to crash. And like I saw in a vision before the Silicon Valley Bank crashed. If you all remember, and you've been with me long enough, I had visions. I said a bank's going to crash. People lined up in front of the bank. And then right after that, the Silicon Valley Bank all went down. Y'all can't forget that one, especially if you were a member of that bank. So that crashed. Spirit's showing me the same vision again. People lined up outside banks. And I do say banks, so it's plural. There'll be multiple banks. People out front demanding their money. Some small banks are going to merge with the bigger banks as the bigger banks start to buy them all out or buy out many of them. And it feels almost to me like the big banks are purposely waiting in the shadows right now, knowing that this opportunity is coming up for them in the near future. It's almost like they planned it. They planned it to take more control, of course. Rely Buy up all the companies so that you can only get your cell phone service from one company. So that you can only get your banking done by one banking company. Or, the three big ones, something like that. That's part of their goal. They're not going to succeed overall when we go into the new system of monetary systems in the future between now and 2032. But for now, they're waiting in the shadows, and Spirit says that the big banks' karma is going to be coming for them too. And that bigger banks are going to start to fail or drop or experience significant losses in the year 2025 and 2026. Separately, I also see some type of big controversy that's coming out of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States. And whatever they call it over there in Europe, I see big problems coming out with their secret services as well. Truth coming to the front. But I don't know what's happening with the FBI, but there is huge controversy. Huge controversy that's going to have people stepping down and stepping out completely. And again, that's people being dropped in power, like Spirit told us. We were going to witness that. Well, being high up in the CIA, FBI, or any of them puts you in power. So we're going to witness that very soon. I would expect that this month in March when it comes to big controversy around the FBI. Be interesting to see where that leads. Now, usually I would receive information in my monthly predictions when it comes to weather and other events for weather-related events for the month of March. And other than March is definitely going to be a huge month for washouts. Remember, water washes away all the crud and clears away and brings things to the surface. So lots more floods that we're going to witness, especially late March, early April, as we're going through that eclipse season. Expect there to be tremendous flooding happening all over the globe. We're going to continue to witness more mudslides and rock slides and the sides of mountains completely being washed away. We're also going to see California being hit yet again, especially right around that first eclipse on the 25th of March. So floods coming to the continent of Asia. The whole continent of Asia looked like a big storm cloud to me in my visions, meaning that whole continent of Asia is going to be hit heavily with flooding and flooding type of events. Other than that, I would tell you that just recently on February 22nd, I put out a video for 2024 weather predictions and also hurricane, and we did map scrying, where I scry at the map and things jump out at me and I share with you what I have received. So it's in-depth weather prediction video. I'll make sure a link pops up above. Beautiful friends, that's what I have for you for the March forecast and predictions. Keep in mind, if you're new here, that every single Tuesday, on Tuesday's Tittel Tea Time Predictions Update, we talk about world events and how they may or may not align with predictions and prophecy. And new predictions come in every single Tuesday. So if you want to feed your prediction addiction and you want to vibe with the tribe, smash that subscribe and catch me on Tuesdays for Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time. Thank you all so much for making it to this point in my video. I am so grateful, and I'm even more grateful that you show your love by clicking that thumbs up love button down below. To those who just hit the subscribe button, I welcome you to the tribe. Now you can vibe with us, and be sure to vibe with us every Tuesday. Remember down below to sign up for the free newsletter. Check out the free information for IRA to gold and all my social media links down below. Until the next time, I hope the month of March is the most amazing month for you ever. May it bring all your dreams and all your goals into fruition. May they flower and bloom with goodness and gracefully. Until the next time, friends, celebrate life, celebrate you, be kind to others as you would wish others be kind to you. And be bold, be true, be kind, be you, because you are awesome. Rock out your awesomeness and have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste and much love, friends.